what will you think of me? How will you think of me? What will I think of myself to hear my secrets aloud? Shh. If I don't pay attention to them, they aren't real.
Sometimes when I talk, I feel like nobody is listening. I have too many thoughts, and people have too little time, so I'm quiet. When you're used to scribbling in the dark, the spotlight and the microphone are terrifying.
Not saying the words or even thinking them helped me play the out of sight, out of mind theory, which made things worse when I was alone and facing myself in the mirror.
To be open is not easy for me. To be true to my heart is even harder for me. But I'm putting out the effort whether or not people are feeling me. This is for me. But I hope it benefits you to be free. The frustration to life is the struggle to move forward. I am one of the musketeers in the war with the missing sword, on a racetrack crashing off my course, but I'm still going hard like nothing is wrong, of course. I got the heart to speak loud to the crowd even when my voice is coarse. I'm Neo without Morpheus, looking for the source. You see, I smoke like a car without cool and a high head when the weed talks. When Puff tells me to cool it. And people hating on my swag, man, through the smoother than cool whip. And I'm still riding my bucket with a cracked windshield and missing headlight. Like it's a cool whip. Dollar signs are messing with my mind, but I keep looking for the pure waters of success. Or keep the fire for the grind. See, I'm struggling to stay in school, but life is teaching me all the rules. So I keep calling time out, because I need to take some time out. I'm trying to win the game for the clock.
Time's out. I set the record on the turntable. I tell her if she says her poem enough times, she won't be afraid anymore. It's okay to cry.
It's okay to cry.
I tell her the needle is always sharpest its first turn around the grooves. Soon she will know the edges, the shape of all the warbling words. I tell her she will not be as vulnerable as she feels. She knows what each line means. We can only guess, play them back. Tell her if she's lucky, some of them catch, but say it over. The song always ends. The track clicks, and the next song begins. I turn the record over, I play the song again, fingers keeping time. Timid clicks on the keys, an unsteady pulse that thinks, maybe if I write this word, I will like it more. Hands stuttering, I watch it shape as it spreads across the screen. Hoping it fits better on my tongue than on this feminine body, I try saying it. I can't. Hit repeat, this time under my breath. Lesbian. A secret. A prayer I'm not ready for yet. I push my computer away, I clutch my comforter to my chest, and I whisper, God, I hope I know you better than they do. I think how I was called to ministry. I wonder what the ministry will call me now, the stones they will throw. I know them. Their shape, smooth enough to slip too easily off of tongues. My mouth, a chapped hymnal. I choke the refrain. I'm afraid. I'm afraid. I'm afraid of how the shape of their prayers will change. I'm afraid that they will feel less like the laying on of hands and more like the pointing of fingers. I say, I'm afraid. Over and over, afraid. I say it until I hear myself say it. I take the record off the table, I turn it over again. I tell myself, if I say this poem enough times, I won't be afraid anymore. It's okay to cry.
It's okay to cry.
The needle is always sharpest its first turn around the grooves. But I know the edges, the shape of all the warbling words. I tell myself I will not be as vulnerable as I feel. I know what each line means. They can only guess, play them back. If I'm lucky, some of them will catch, but I will say it over until this song ends, until the track clicks and a new song begins.
I'm walking free, I'm walking free. But if you could have just loved you, imagine where it leads me now. Mom, do you remember how he touched you and how you'd cry? And how you swear to us he loved you, you're justified. Have you ever thought to see this through my eyes? Because I know you did your best to love me right, but it's how you loved yourself that blurred my sight. And now the nightmares of where I've been come every night. And I don't want to blame you for the mistakes I've made, but it's hard not to say it's your fault. Because when the substances stopped hitting and your constant hiss was spitting out, I was coming down. There was little truth in my lies, and you fell for every disguise. And now I'm coming out. Mom, oh, I remember how he touched me. I wasn't scared. My numbing muscles as he rubbed me, so unprepared. And not a thought of love or worth for me was there, and I didn't care. Now my victim ways of your mistakes have left me now. And every drug, they couldn't numb survivors out. And every fuck, they wouldn't thump where I'd be now. I love me now. I'm here to apologize now. I'm sorry now. But if you could have just loved you, imagine where it'd lead me now. Mom, I know it hurts to know that I was never clean, and that I gave my innocence away at 17. And every lesson I've learned has made me mean.
Damn, I'm face down in the mud with a 45 match to the back of my head.
Yeah, picture Dorian, and you're lucky that's all you got.
All I wanted was to pick my son's backpack up for school that morning. Turns out, you had other things in mind, like kidnapping the kids and barricading yourself in the house. I could retrieve military force under fire because you know I'm full of hot bullets and passion for my children.
So yeah, I kicked your door, and you're lucky that's all you got.
A sound of sirens blazes down the street. He's gonna wait for them to tell his side of the story. Reality is, a black man in South Orange County being...
Get the fuck on the ground!
So I'm on the ground, face down in the mud. 4 cops on my back and a 45 match to the back of my head.
Wrong move and brains meet the ground. Ushered in by hot lead and police cover-up.
So I'm on the ground, reflecting on life. And all I could think was, damn, I should have used a condom.
He should have used a condom.
I glanced up to the master bedroom window to see a Grinch-like smile and you waving at me with your lovely little middle finger. And all I could think was, damn, I should have used a fucking condom. On my way to jail, as the anger seemed to fade away, reality sets in. I'm not going to see my kids for a while. Visions of my beautiful children danced in my head. The tears begin to roll down my face. I'm tasting the salty aftermath of a brutal setup. Anger transforms into depression. Suicide becomes real. And all I could think was, damn, I just lost my babies.
Ikelelu, simkedu, ademai. Hey, what's good, bro? Same stuff, different day. I'm stuck in 2 worlds. As a kid, I wanted to fit in. Did my best to lose the African image. Man, I wanted to be cool. Can't blame me. An African booty scratcher didn't do. So I asked my dad, what should I do? He says, tell them rhyme shit. That means eat your boo-boo food. Stuck in 2 worlds. So as I got older, I got brainwashed by Tupac, Snoop Dogg, and I love when they call me Big Papa. My daddy called me Akata. When I was 20, he called me smoking that ganja. He kicked me out even faster. My body covered with tattoos. I wanted to get one for my mama. She said, don't get nothing that says mama. The American Nigerian life is full of drama. Man, I'm stuck in 2 worlds. I mean, it baffles African Americans that I'm literally African American. Until I bring them to a family event. Or if you've been to one of my classes, my teacher pauses on the roll sheet. I noticed and interject. Uche! Yeah, that's me. You see, I don't consider myself a citizen of any country. Holidays mean nothing to me. I'm just happy I don't have to go to work on Independence Day. And when I visit Nigeria, I'm an American who lost his ways. I'm stuck in 2 worlds. Caught in the game of hokey pokey. 1 foot in and 1 foot out. Finding myself is what my life has been about. I pray to God for a peace of mind. I pray to God to give me more time to take my feet out of these 2 potholes. And I can walk my journey, my paved road. I know life can be beautiful and shiny like gold, but I'm watching as this planet's toward. Man, I'm breaking these shackles. No longer stuck in 2 worlds.
Blur. The night my demon was born. Warm from the summer night, or warm from my drunken skin and the inability to feel any bitter cold aroma. My eyes couldn't focus. My mind wouldn't focus, but my lips and the sharp taste of liquor on her tongue, real. As she felt my body. Trust. The zipper slides down and my never seen is shown. Trust. For my closest friend, nothing less. The pleasure is a blur, but the confusion, the wrong stunk up the air and the stench leaked through the walls and in through his nostrils, the gossip through his ears. Scared, as his evil was known, as his shiest entered the aura. Disgust, as his fingers found their way to me while his lips teased her love, as her lips teased his, and his fingers teased mine. Fear, as it began to feel his weight on top of me, but my bitter need for rebellion left me careless. Prepared. Thrust. Pain. Thrust. Ouch. Thrust. As the tears from her intoxicated heartbreak rise from the background of my unacceptable, unbelievable reality and begin to distract me from what I would much rather ignore. Thrill. And his evil laugh as he fled the scene of his crime, taking with him the innocence that was just one moment ago mine. 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 His. And he who could care less to have it. Empty. Worthless. Blur.
The thought of losing you makes my hands tremble. The thought of losing you makes my soul ache. The thought of losing you too is like dying 1,000 deaths and roaming around in the land of the soulless.
It's not good for
My inner being is lost without you too. My inner thoughts are found. My mind races at a rate that no instrument can measure because the thought of losing you too is an unmeasurable understanding. Why does your mother want you two away from me? I have been there since day one. I was there when you took your first steps. I was there when your first words were, Daddy. My days begin and end with me wanting to hold you two. But my anxiety and these shaky hands have me worried that I will drop you in that. Well, that just makes me want to hold you tighter and keep you in my safe grasp. My anxiety and these shaky hands have me wanting to fight harder for you two until you're back home with Daddy where you belong. Merlin and Matthew, Daddy loves you.
You used to take us for spins around the block in your father's Corvette. I would beg you to slow down. Most 5-year-olds know nothing of white knuckles. Can't count to 120, much less know that it is more than quadruple the speed limit on residential streets. Don't know that motors are loud enough to drown out even the loudest of stop signs. You would only stop when the tears fell. They say that the sins of the father fall on the sons. They don't talk about their weight on daughters. The second helpings at the dinner table after they've been asked to say grace, to bless the food that will keep their mouths occupied while you rant. It begins with taxes. The black president that you've taught your son to hate, and then there's the Mexicans. The ones who keep fucking up the jobs that you have made across the border so you don't have to pay for their health insurance or fair wages. You say you only know 2 phrases in Spanish. No agua cerveza, and donde está norte. The only thing more reckless than your driving is your mouth. You never seem to notice that yours is the loudest voice in the room, never paid much attention to signals unless they were sexual in nature. You sit across from me at the bar I tend and hit on the woman next to you. I pretend not to notice. When I find the 2 of you in the parking lot, I am not surprised. You later tell me that you could have sealed the deal if you wanted to. You of course didn't want to because her eyes are as brown as her skin and you prefer blondes, but you're no gentleman, you're a fast talker. You can talk the socks and panties off of anyone blonde enough to listen. I am not blonde, but I listen. You tell me.
Daddy's proud of you.
It's no wonder that you talk about yourself in the 3rd person. It's even hard for you to see yourself as my father, and you are proud in the abstract. But you wouldn't know what I meant by that because you wouldn't ask. Content enough to have another trophy in your case like the one in your bed, the one who hasn't left you yet. After the DUI, after the rehab, after the affairs, she sees you for what you are. A dollar sign. A swerve. Crossed with skid marks. You once told me that I could be anything I wanted to be when I grew up. You didn't know that I would want to be nothing like you. Reckless.
My name is Uche.
My name is Merlin.
Give it up, open car, y'all. Give it up.